Good morning. Happy Friday. Well, I just wanted to pop on here real quick and have a little painting to do. I'm kind of tired. I've been getting busy for an event, which is Saturday at one of the local fairs here in town for a nonprofit fundraiser. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be having a bunch of paint kits out there. We'll see how that does. And I'm looking forward to it, getting around people again and getting out in the world. It's going to be great. It's kind of cloudy or foggy here in the hill country today, but tomorrow's supposed to be beautiful, 80 degrees, sunny, and fortunately we're under a cover, so it won't be too awful hot. I did want to say something this morning, though. One of the things that I get told a lot from people my friends and people I know personally, that they say, oh, I can't paint, I can't draw, I don't know how to do that, and don't know how you do it, but I want to tell you that everyone can do it. It truly is not hard. I I did a lot of soul searching about 20 years ago. I actually tried to go to a professional artist for some classes and was really put down before anyone even saw my work. It was like, oh, you're dreaming, you're not an artist. And it was just really negative, and it really bothered me. So now I'm back into painting again, and I'm having a really good time. And I know everybody can do this, and it's a lot of fun. Um, and I just want you to know that everyone goes through self doubt, and they don't believe their stuff is ever good enough, but it's good enough. And when people tell you they like your stuff and they say, "Oh, you did a great job," they mean it. And so I want you to know that when I started out, I didn't even know where to buy brushes or paints. Everybody starts somewhere. We don't just pop out and go, "Woohoo, we're an artist," and you don't go from a blank canvas to a painting in 3 minutes, and it's just perfect. It takes time and practice and layers, and you have to have fun in the middle of all that too, and you have to breathe and just really enjoy what you're doing. So when I do my paintings, I tell you what brushes I use, what color I use, but you can use any brush. If you don't have brushes or don't have access to brushes, I mean, I've used makeup pads, the soft makeup pads. I've used Q-tips, my fingers, knives, spoons. It's just amazing what you can kind of come up with, and it's kind of cool too, because when you use other things, that it looks so different, and it's so much fun. And so whenever you paint, if you're painting along with me or you're doing your own thing, I really just have fun with it and just relax. Should be an hour or two of just getting away from it all, and losing yourself in your art, or learning art. And shoot, every day I learn something new every day, and it's just so much fun for me, and I just want to share that fun. And I don't want you to be worried, and I want you to just relax and have a good time. And if you can't paint along with me, of course, these videos are always on there, on my Facebook page, so you can always watch them. I also have a YouTube channel, same name, Teresa Parker Art. There's not as much, and it's more speed. It's time lapse stuff, but it's all on there too. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to message me or just drop a comment. And if you do paint something, I want to see it. I don't care if it's something we did here or you're just doing it on your own, or any craft. I'm a crafter, I'm a quilter, I sew, anything like that. I just think it's so much fun. It's so cathartic. So anyway, today I wanted to paint a vintage Santa. And I just thought he was just so cute. I really like the vintage stuff this year that's been coming out. So I wanted to go ahead and give him a shot today. He's only has I don't know, 4 colors. I will put the tracer on. If I haven't already, it might already be there. But I will put the tracer on there for you to do it as well. And so we'll just get started here. This won't take long, I don't think. And like I said, if you're painting along, and I go fast sometimes, but believe me, when I first started out, I couldn't, it took hours to paint a 10-minute, painting. So my lines weren't straight. I didn't know. Oh, and there's one thing I wanted to tell you too. On the paint brushes, the little bitty tiny detail brushes, and when I first started out, I really wanted to use them because I thought it would help me do thin lines better. But I don't have any patience. And so I would load it with the paint and it would go like a quarter of an inch maybe, and I'd run out of paint, and I just had little tick marks almost instead of lines. It was so frustrating. So I have learned that if you use a bigger brush, let me see if I can find my brush now. If you do use a slightly bigger brush, even if it's like this one, I think is about a quarter of an inch. And the numbers are on the side of the brush. Mine has paint all over it, so I can't tell you what number it is. Can't remember. I think it's I don't remember. Anyway, I'm terrible. But whenever you're doing thin lines, instead of using a little tiny detail brush, if you use one of these brushes and you get it wet, it goes down to a really nice chiseled edge at the bottom. See that? It's very thin. So it's like your detail brush, but it's longer. So when you load it with paint, let me just show you real quick. So when you're trying to do little lines and you want to use a bigger brush, it is easier with a flat brush, and you get the tip really flat. When you put it in the paint, don't put it straight in, because it will flatten those bristles out and just make it all white again. So if you go in from the side like this on both sides, see how that is? There's your flat. So what happens is if you barely touch your canvas, I'm going to see if I can do this backwards. Barely touch your canvas. I got to look at it. See that thin line? That's it. So you don't have to use it. And this will go a long way, a lot more than one of those little detail brushes will. So if you get into a jam and you can't get, you get frustrated because you have to reload the detail brush 100 times to go 1 inch, try to use a bigger brush and just make it real flat on the tip. So that's my tip for the day. And I just thought about it yesterday when I was doing all these thin lines. It's, it makes me crazy doing a little bitty tiny brush. It just takes too long and it just looks like little marks. But anyway, let's get started. I'm going to move the camera down. I hope you can see this. I had to use my iPad today. My phone was dead. And so let's see if we can get this to work here. Okay. I don't know if you'd be able to see it. It's kind of upside down because I don't have anywhere else to put my iPad. But let's just work on this a little bit. I have this shiny blue that I used on the twins. I don't know if you saw me painting the twin snowmen. But this is called Blue Sapphire, and it is just the folk art. It's real inexpensive. I think this is like their most expensive kind, which is like, I don't know, $1.50 or something. And these paints go a long, long way. You would be surprised. And I'm adding just a little bit of water just to kind of thin it out so it goes a little further and kind of changes the color a little bit, makes it lighter. But I do have these, if I don't have this tracer on there, I'll definitely get it put on there. But yeah, I just was thinking last night, and after talking to some of my friends who said, oh, I can't do it, it's too hard. And it is really a self-confidence thing. And if you just sit down and just breathe a little bit, and use whatever brushes you have available, you will be amazed at what you can do. It is so much fun. But me, I paint, but I also love to watch people paint. I watch a lot of the different artists out there and like them all. And I'm pretty self-taught. I did take courses from the Donna Dewberry One Stroke, and I need a bigger brush, I think. And I got certified to be a teacher in the One Stroke painting, which is a lot of fun. But that's really, it's not so much a skill as it is a style. And so I was trained in that style of painting. You double load the brush, or you put multiple colors on your brush at one time. So when you do your strokes, you actually automatically get shading and highlighting, which is really kind of fun. And it's not a skill, it's a style. I think most things are a style. And I just really enjoy painting, and I really enjoy sharing my painting. It's a lot of fun. And I still get nervous, and I say a lot whenever I go on Facebook Live. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but I just enjoy it. Think about sharing my painting. So I'm gonna go down here and let's see, we'll go in, I think in here, this might end up being white. Kind of losing my lines a little bit because I kind of drew it out so quick this morning. And you know, it's early for me. It's, I don't know, what time is it? 8 o'clock maybe? You know, I usually get up with the crack of 9, so it's a little early for me. But the dogs got up barking this morning, and for some reason I just couldn't go back to sleep and thought, well, I'm going to get in there and just do some painting and have fun. And I have to finish getting ready for my event for tomorrow, which will be good. And if you're anywhere near San Antonio, it's actually at the Shriner Auditorium on 1604, and it's from 10 to 3. And I think there's going to be a lot of different, it's a fundraiser, but I know she invited a lot of different vendors, or asked a lot of different vendors to join. So I can't wait. I think it'll be great. And it's a Christmas fair, which is awesome because, you know, everybody gets happy around Christmas time. And this year's been a little weird, so I hope Christmas is the best ever. Get a little more paint out, and let's see. But yeah, you can just use anything to paint with. Okay, get around his little hair. I just loved this Santa. I thought he was so neat looking, and we'll lighten up this blue a little bit too. I think I have a lighter blue. I just didn't really plan for it. I just kind of got up and said, oh, I'm going to do this one. See what happens. And around here, and I don't know, can you see that? It's looking really pretty. I just love this blue. It's my new favorite color. It's just so shiny. So now I kind of want to lighten it up in some areas. I don't want to use white. Let's see, I've got this. What is this? Oh, this is called Ice Blue. It's actually really pretty. And it's a folk art metallic also. So it's I got it at Walmart, I'm sure. Walmart or Hobby Lobby. They're about the only 2 good places around here that carry this kind of paint. So I'm going to put some light blue on there. Let's see what happens if we just kind of put it in here. I'm just going to kind of blend it in since the dark blue is still kind of wet. And we'll just blend it in a little here. Can give them some glow. So can you, I don't know, can you see that? Oops. So there it is right there. It's just a little bit lighter. You can kind of see it. I think when it dries in it, I can get you a picture of it. You'll be able to see it better. Sorry for the bad quality this morning. Like I said, it wasn't exactly planned. I just wanted to do it. And I'll put some over here. And I'm just going to blend it in a little bit with the darker blue and lighten it up a little. Kind of looks like a little glow around him. Kind of just mush it in there. That's a technical term. Mushing it in there, blob it on. All those are technical terms. Okay, let's do some in here. Okay, so got that. Okay, now let's see what's next. Let me turn it right side up for you. So let's do his, I'll work on his hat. And this is not the most red. This one's not as bright as some, but this is engine red. And it's just not, some of them are more bright than others. And this is the one I had available, so it's still red. It's just not as bright. Okay, let's get this here. And maybe I'll use my little brush here. Get the blue off. And when I do the black outlining, I'll show you about what I mean about making the brush flat. So see, it's real flat. And I'm just going to make my line here, and I'm just following the line. This isn't thin, of course, but gives you the idea. I just follow it around. Got a little over, but I'm going to add some black in there anyway and outline it, so we'll just cover that up. No mistakes. So I don't know if you know this, but Bob Ross actually has 2 different channels now. He's on 24/7, I think on, oh, I can't remember. Do y'all remember which channel it is? It's not Pluto. It's another one. 2 of the streaming channels actually carry him. One of them has a Bob Ross channel, and I think it's great. Maybe it's called Flickr. I can't remember. You know, there's so many of them out there now. But if you look up Bob Ross streaming, it'll bring it up on Google. Oops, bring it up on Google. Yeah, I just used my finger, wipe that off. Also, if you don't like where the paint lands and it's still damp, you can use a wipey, and you can use just a baby wipe and wipe it right off. It'll come right off. Okay, so that's enough for the red. So I'm going to, let me try a different brush and some white. And what we're going to do is, I don't have a really good peachy color, so we're just going to make his face a really light pink. That's appropriate for Santa. He's always happy. Always pink. Pink cheeks. So we'll just make his face pink. And I can go ahead and go over the lines I drew earlier because I can still see through the pink. The pink is so see-through. Okay. And then Okay. Excuse me. My allergies. It's the cedar fever's getting me this year. And that still has red. Definitely want a clean brush whenever I decide to switch back over to white. Okay, so now that I've got the white out, we're going to go ahead and fill in his beard here. And this white covers really well, but it might take 2 coats. So I did get some blue into his beard a little bit, but excuse me, after I add another coat, it should make it go away pretty good. And I'm going to end up adding blue back into it anyway, just for a little shadow. Let's see, I think, well, that's white. Let's make that blue though. Well, I'll do that in a minute. I think that should be blue. I made it a little different than my original when I traced it out this morning. I think I was still half asleep. Hi, Zena. My dog's coming in to watch me paint. One of my dogs. We have a lot of dogs. Okay, so we're going to fill this in here. And here, this is white. Oh, this is white. Oops. That was a lot of white paint. Okay. This is a canvas that I think I must have used 3 or 4 times because I just never really liked what I painted before. I liked it, I just didn't want to keep it. So there's some little texture from all the different layers of paint I have on here. So if you're seeing texture, that's what it's from. Put this down here. Painting his beard. We can always go back there. Yeah, it's texture. Go back around and touch him up. So let's do his hat. I'm going to make a star of gold. Nice. I got my white on there. Now I think what I'm going to do is I think I need to make this blue right here. Might look a little different than the tracer I gave you because I think I added a few lines. And you know, sometimes that just happens, so we just go through and change it accordingly. Because this looks like it should be blue. Right? Maybe not, but we're going to stick with it. We're going to see what happens. Okay. And let me replace some of that pink. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this brush. I'm going to make it real flat again. And we're going to use the black. Now, I will use the little detail brush for his, you know, the fine lines like his eyes, things like that. And I'm just going to use my pinky to steady my hand. We're going to see if I can do it this morning. I've already had a lot of coffee, so we're going to see how this turns out. See, I'm just on the very chiseled edge of the brush. And it goes a lot further than the little detail brushes. You okay, Molly? My other dog. She's a 15-year-old lab. Makes lots of noise because she is an old girl. Oops. Let's try that again. I'm out of paint. Oops. Well, that's not working out for me this morning, is it? But that's okay. Let's go here. And if you don't like something, you can always go back over it and redo it. Molly, don't do that. Molly, it's okay. I'll give you something in a minute. She's wanting her morning treats. Can you hear her? She's a horrible dog. Oh, she's just wants what she wants. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Wow, this brush, it keeps splitting on me. So, I don't like how that one's doing. So let's do different. Let's see if we can get a good one here. See if it'll go flat for me. Maybe. Oh, that's not very flat. Okay, so I'm trying to show you something, and now none of my brushes want to do it. Sometimes things just don't work as you planned. Let's try this one. This one's kind of, oh, this one might be too soft. And soft brushes don't work very well either. So, okay. Let's see, let's try. Okay, well, I'm back to a detail brush because I don't have many brushes out this morning, but it's a bigger round brush. So we're gonna, oh no, that's not gonna work, is it? Let me find another brush. Let's see, let's try this. Let's try this little square one. Okay. This little flat one would work great. Okay, so now we're on to a good brush. And what I'll do is I'll come back later and I will go over this and I'll show you when it's dry. There we go. I'll go over this with the white and just go over that black, and the white will cover it if I don't like it. On the thicker spots. It's kind of hard doing them upside down. I didn't think about that. And the paint also matters. So if the paint's too thick and you try to do this with the edge of a brush, it just won't go on either. So you can also thin it down with a little bit of water. Acrylic paint's really good with water. Oops. Boy, it's hard to do it from this angle. Huh? Okay. But that's right. We'll cover it all up. If you don't like it, we'll just redo it. And this way. This way. I think I just stuck my arm in paint. I get more paint on myself than I do on the canvas. My husband says I'm kind of like a 6-year-old. But you know, I enjoy it. It comes off. Okay. So these aren't, I don't like some of my first ones, but the brushes weren't working well for me. That happens. I mean, if my brushes are too thick, there's no way to get that chiseled edge anymore. But they're good for other things. This one. And we will go back over this with some white. And let's see, this is his. Where is that line at? Covered up this line pretty good. I have to look at it right side up. Okay. And we'll do it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'll let since the outlining didn't go as well up here when my brush was a little too thick, I will, in a moment, I will go back over that in white. But if you let it completely dry, you can fix anything with white. If you cover it in white and let it dry, you can cover that white with any color as well. Okay, so let me use a small brush. A little detail brush this time. And this is for his eye. Where does eye go? Right here. See, it doesn't, they just don't hold enough paint for me. But I'm sure it's by design. Eyebrow. Which I will paint in white as well. And his face. Okay. So the pink is already dry. So let's see if I can get some white in here without running it into the black and making it gray. If it turns gray, I'll just go over with white later again. But it will remind me to make it white because I forget little things like that. When I look at it, I won't see it. Okay. A little white in his eye. And we'll go back over that black real quick. Alrighty. Let me smooth this out a little bit. Okay. Now on his beard, I'm going to take a little brush. I'll take one of my round brushes here. And I'm going to give him put a little gray in it. So just mix a little black and white, make a light gray. And I'm just going to kind of give him a little bit of a, you know, I probably should be doing this with a palette knife, but that's okay. Just want to dry brush him. Give him an old antique look. And this would be really good for a palette knife. So that's a pretty dry brush there. And I'm just putting a little gray in different areas to don't want them all solid white. Kind of antique them a little bit. And that's a really dry brush. It first started out too wet, but now it's good and dry. I'm going to put some up here in his hat. Just to give a little bit of personality. We did that. Now that my brush is dry, Zena, stop, please. Now that my brush is dry, let's use a little bit of the dark blue. I'm gonna mix a little dark with the light blue, and kind of make it dry it off a little bit. And give him some blue in here, even in his beard. And shining off the blue in the background. And this is really dry. What I did, I just mixed my colors, and then I laid it on a paper towel to let it soak it up, and gave me a really dry brush. And I'll go over that again. So kind of antique him a little bit. Some personality. And I'm going with the shape of the beard as I go. You know, if I'm doing the curve, I'm curving my brush and just following the curve. Alrighty, I can't really tell what he looks like, so I'm hoping he looks okay. It is definitely different when they're upside down. So let me I'm going to take this same brush and get a little white and kind of thin out these lines a little bit here. Just because I want to. Since we have gray in there, it just kind of blends in. Let me thin this one out a little bit here. And that kind of actually looks okay with that gray there. And up here, this definitely was where it had a hard time, didn't I? And what we'll do is we'll go back over it with some of the blue and gray as well. Okay. That needs to be more white, doesn't it? Got a little bit of too much black in there. Okay. So good. Hope that's good. Okay. Now let's go ahead and, oh, got to do a star too. I'm going to outline a star with a little small square brush that I was using to finish the outlines down here. I want to get all the water out. If you leave any water on the ferrule, which is this piece right here, the gold, if it gets up in there and you put the brush down to paint, the water just comes right down in a big old drop and will definitely make it look like you're watercoloring. Alrighty. I just had to see the outline of it. And then I'll let that dry a little bit. We'll put a little gray in there. I mean a little gold in there. And I see where I missed like this area. Can go through and let me touch some of this up real quick that I missed. Oop, that's a little too much, but that's alright. We'll just do it on all those little curves. Add a little blue. And maybe even a little more gray mixed with the blue. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now take that little brush again. Poor brush, gonna be, you know, I'm gonna take my round brush. Let me get it really dry. Find my gold. This is metallic again, and it is Glorious Gold. And this is Deco Art also. And there's also Americana, and there's Apple Barrel. So there's a lot of different ones. You can find them at Walmart, Hobby Lobby. And, you know, Hobby Lobby sometimes has them for like 50 cents a bottle. And they go a long way. So that's kind of, oops. I don't know if you can see that, but you see that drip of water right there? That would have got right down on my painting. Okay. So let's just go through this guy and make this star gold. I think he'd look good splattered with white paint, you know, like little tiny splatters. I'm just not sure. That's always when I get scared. Because once I splatter him, it's done. I mean, I can't take that back. So I have to wait and sit on that and decide. You tell me, should I splatter him with like white splatter? I just don't know. I don't know if he'd look good with too much white on there. Okay, so just fill in my star with gold. And again, you can do it. You can paint. Believe me, doesn't matter what you paint with. If you try it, you will figure it out. It is so much fun. I have to get close because I'm so blind. Okay. I just need to touch up the black a little bit around it. A little bit around here. I kind of want it to stand out pretty good. Alrighty. I think I kind of got him ready. I don't know if I should splatter him or not. I'm going to push this up just a little and get it out of the light. There we go. There he is. So what do you think? I don't know if I should splatter him with, you know, the little, like with the toothbrush, with the wet white paint that just makes it look all spotted. Or does he look good like this? I'm just not sure. Maybe a little white, more white around him. I think it's too dark. I think I need to put some more light. Okay, so now we're gonna play with it. You'll see what happens. Let's try a little, because now it's dry. Let's try a little white and light blue. That shiny blue and white. And let's see what happens. Just kind of want to give him a little, I don't know, a glow or something. He just seemed kind of, let's rub it in, see what happens. Oh, that's not too bad. Do something different. Yep, I love to finger paint. So now he's a little bit more shiny. And if I don't like it, what I'll do is just go back over it with the blues. That's the nice thing about it. Sit and look at it for, the day, see if I like it or not. Ask y'all's opinion and see what should look good. I just want kind of a glow around him. Makes him stand out a little more. Get a little water. Add a little bit of water. That might be a little too thick here, but that's okay. See what happens. I just like the glow. So from a really dry brush to a really wet brush. Let's see. So now, oh, gosh, that's far away. Now he's got a little glow around him. See the glow? So what do you think? Maybe a little more here. Let's see. I'm going to do a little finger painting here. Now I'm looking at it in a mirror image, so see what happens. Yeah. So what do you think? There he is. This is my vintage Santa. And, okay, I'm not done yet. Let's give his hat looks a little too red. So why don't I add a little dark blue to it. We'll dry brush that, or I'll try to. My brush is pretty wet at this point. We'll give him a little blue in his hat. There we go. Maybe a little gray. Making a mess of my poor plate. Oh, that's too light. Okay, maybe a little black. I'm barely touching it. And I'm going to go ahead and outline this again with the black because I covered it really with the red and kind of want it to stand out a little more. Okay, I think that's better. Now he kind of matches all the way up and down. So let's see if I can get this. Okay. So what do you think? Let's see. A little more gray, a little more black, I think, right here. Kind of mess it up a little bit. Yeah, we antiqued him good, didn't we? Yeah. So what do you think? There he is, my vintage Santa. And I hope you like him, and I hope you try him. And if you do, I really want to see it, because you can tell where my lines got, well, maybe not, but it looks different than the other one, than the original, but I think he looks okay. So I'm kind of happy with this guy. I'm going to keep him. So let me know what you think. Try him because he really is easy. I will make sure that the tracer is in the comments as well for you, so that you can trace them out. And if you don't know how to do that with carbon paper or the charcoal from Walmart, I have another video down below, probably a few below, but it does tell you how to do that with how to make the copy with carbon. Put it on canvas from a regular piece of paper. So it's all very simple, and I go through it step by step. So if you have any questions, let me know. I really appreciate you being with me early this morning on a Friday, and I hope you'll have a great afternoon and a great weekend. I will get on here tomorrow after my event, and we'll see how many people show up. It's my first time out for an event, so it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know how many people are getting out right now, so it'll be interesting to see. But hope you'll have a great day. I really appreciate you watching me. Thanks, Geraldine. And let's see, and Penny and Darla, and everybody else. I really appreciate it, and I hope you'll have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.